You are not practicing self-care. You are just avoiding effort. There is a difference. When you finish one small task and immediately reward yourself with hours of comfort, you feel justified. Your brain cannot distinguish between genuine restoration and convenient escape at the same time. Therefore, every win becomes permission. Every effort gets erased by what comes after. You call it balance, but balance is not what you are creating. What you are creating is a pattern. The moment you complete something, anything, even the bare minimum, your brain whispers the same sentence. I deserve a break, and you believe it. Therefore, you sit down, you scroll, you watch, you delay the next thing, just for a little while. But a little while becomes the rest of the day. The rest of the day becomes the rest of the week. You are not resting anymore. You are just defaulting to the easier option. The pattern has a name: moral licensing. Your brain uses small wins to justify large retreats. You did one difficult thing, therefore you earned the right to do nothing. The logic sounds fair, but it is a trap. Because the win you are using to justify the break was not actually difficult. It was ordinary. It was the baseline. You answered emails. You cleaned one room. You showed up on time. Normal things. But your brain treats them like heroic acts. Therefore, it demands a reward equal to the perceived effort, and the reward always outweighs the work. You worked for 20 minutes. You rest for 3 hours. You completed one task. You avoid 5 more. The equation never balances. Therefore, progress stops. Not because you cannot do the work, but because you always choose the comfort immediately after. What makes this dangerous is how invisible it feels. You are not procrastinating. You are recovering. You are not avoiding. You are practicing self-care. The language protects the pattern. Therefore, you never question it. You genuinely believe you deserve the break, and maybe you do. But not every single time. Not after every small thing. Not as a reflex. Your brain is not protecting you. Your brain is training you. Every time you reward minimal effort with maximum comfort, you teach yourself a lesson. Effort is rare. Comfort is normal. Therefore, effort becomes harder. Because your brain now expects a reward. Before the work even finishes, it waits for the permission, the justification, the proof that you earned the right to stop. And you always find it. Therefore, the cycle never breaks. You call it listening to your body. But your body is not what you're listening to. What you're listening to is resistance. The moment you feel friction, discomfort, the weight of the next task, that is when the voice appears. You have done enough. You deserve this. Just one episode, one scroll, 1 hour, and you believe it. Therefore, the next task gets delayed. The next day feels the same. The next week becomes a blur of small starts and long pauses. You are not building momentum. You are interrupting it. The cost is not dramatic. The cost is quiet. You do not collapse. You just drift. Weeks feel unproductive. Months feel wasted. Not because you stopped trying, but because you kept stopping after trying. Therefore, nothing accumulates. Every effort gets erased by the comfort that follows. You are not lazy. You are just trained to retreat. The shift is not complicated. The shift is uncomfortable. You stop using wins as permission. You stop treating ordinary tasks like heroic acts. You stop believing every effort deserves an equal retreat. Therefore, the question changes. Not whether you deserve a break, but whether the break serves the direction you are moving. Some breaks restore you. Some breaks derail you. You already know the difference. When you finish something and immediately reach for comfort, you are not recovering. You are just avoiding the next thing. Therefore, the fix is not eliminating rest. The fix is eliminating the justification. You do not need permission to rest. You need clarity about what the rest is actually doing. Is it restoring your energy, or is it protecting you from effort? One rebuilds you. One erodes you. The difference is not the activity. The difference is the timing. When you rest after sustained effort, you refuel. When you rest after minimal effort, you train yourself to expect comfort without cost. Therefore, the pattern strengthens. The threshold for deserving a break drops lower. Eventually, you feel entitled to comfort just for waking up. You do not fix this by punishing yourself. You fix this by noticing yourself. The moment you hear the voice, "I deserve this," pause. Do you? Or are you just uncomfortable with what comes next? Therefore, the shift is not motivation. The shift is honesty. You stop lying to yourself about what the break is for. You stop using self-care language to justify self-sabotage. You stop treating effort like suffering that must be rewarded immediately. Therefore, the breaks you take become intentional. Not automatic, not reflexive, not a response to discomfort. The work does not get easier. But the pattern loses its power because you are no longer negotiating with yourself after every small thing. You're just continuing. One task, then the next, then the next. No ceremony, no reward, no internal debate about whether you earned the right to stop. You just keep moving. Therefore, momentum builds, not because you became superhuman, but because you stopped interrupting yourself. You already know what happens next. The guilt at night, the frustration in the morning, the quiet awareness that you are capable of more. You always knew. Therefore, the question is not whether you deserve comfort. The question is whether you are willing to feel the friction, to sit with the discomfort of continuing, to stop rewarding yourself for showing up. Therefore, the final shift is simple. You stop calling it self-care, you start calling it what it is: avoidance.